Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai, haere mai. Nā mihi kia korua, Michael e Stacey, mō tō mihi. He tinu harikoa aho, kua tai mai ki konei mō tēnei hui mō tō hake. Ko Frank Bloomfield taku ingoa, ko aho te ihuranga ki Waipapa tō Matarau. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. The video we have just seen has really set the scene for us tonight. It reflects the huge undertaking that is growing up in New Zealand. An undertaking and a commitment by so many, and a treasure trove of information to inform a better future in Aotearoa, New Zealand. That uplifting video tells us why we are here today. In the university environment, we know that research can and does take time. Some people would say everything takes time in the university. But some of the most amazing discoveries in the world have taken decades. Others are built on discoveries more than a century old. Yet asking a family with a baby on the way to commit to research that will continue into the future is a big ask, especially when you don't tell them an end date. This is what Growing Up in New Zealand cohort did and continues to do. And I've been reflecting on why families, carers, and ultimately the now 16 to 17-year-olds agreed to make such a commitment. At the time families agreed to take part, they would have been filled with the hopes, dreams, and fears for their unborn children. Fears as well as hopes, as all parents have fears for their child's journey through life. Agreeing to take part in a longitudinal study at such a time of anticipation, excitement, and a little bit of uncertainty is a major commitment, which at times would have been bound to bring inconvenience. It's also a commitment to answer questions that require deeply personal and private responses. Yet, as you've heard, more than 6,000 families and their children decided to do it. More than 4,000 have stuck with it for over 17 years. Participating families and children will all have their own reasons for taking part in the study, and it isn't for me to presume what those reasons are. But we do know from lots of research that altruism, the desire to help others, even at some unknown time in the future, often features strongly in people's willingness to participate. So whatever your reasons for taking part are and were, I want to honour you, your commitment to Aotearoa, New Zealand, to research and to a greater understanding of the lives of young people conceived in 2009 and 2010. Yes, Growing Up in New Zealand started before babies were born, which, as you know, makes this longitudinal study world-leading and extra special. This New Zealand study has other important features. It includes fathers or the mother's partner. It is ethnically diverse and representative of our population. And it generated a significant body of information during the first 2 years to inform early childhood development. Each Growing Up in New Zealand child has come together with others to create the greatest gift to New Zealand, New Zealanders, and the future. Of course, no one foresaw the extraordinary timing of this study and the momentous social and cultural changes that have shaped the lives of you all and your families. The study began in the aftermath of the 2008 global financial crisis, which catapulted the world into a more volatile, fragmented, and technologically dependent era. Technology and the internet became integral to our lives, which in turn gave rise to social media. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the internet provided for online learning, but also for the fomentation of misinformation and disinformation. The 2010s saw the rise of global activism that reached us as far as our Pacific corner of the world. And we became increasingly aware of climate change and of endured extreme weather, evident again, of course, this weekend. And in the 2020s, the global world order has been and continues to be shaken up. So our Growing Up in New Zealand cohort, you all, have grown up during a time of rapid change. And thanks to you all, the young children, young people and their families, researchers can seek to understand the impacts of these changes on individuals and their families, and ultimately on communities and our wider society. For Growing Up in New Zealand is building a comprehensive picture of life for children and young people in New Zealand. Its findings already have contributed to a range of policy developments, from immunisation and poverty to early childhood education use and postnatal depression in fathers. It has also provided insight into the impact of extreme weather with its Extreme Weather Survey, clearly insights that continue to be highly relevant. The 15-year checkpoint data have just been made available, with valuable insights into mental health, well-being and self-harm. This checkpoint found that 84% of 15-year-olds had good friends and 79% trusted their friends. Having positive peer relationships was fostered by greater cultural connection, not experiencing discrimination, greater satisfaction with school, and a greater ability to manage the ups and downs of everyday school life. There is, however, a proportion of young people in the Growing Up in New Zealand cohort, about 1 in 6, who reported experiencing thoughts of self-harm. The likelihood of these thoughts was also influenced by several factors, including material hardship, deprivation, and gender identity. So clearly this is absolutely critical research that will aid supporting young people as they transition through to adulthood, research that will continue to yield further vital information as researchers dig deeper and deeper into the data. It is also research that will be so helpful to future young people passing through their mid-teenage years. So I'm enormously grateful to the young people, our 16 to 17-year-olds, their whānau, the funders and researchers who are connected by a shared belief in the power of research and data. The data from this study are building a comprehensive picture of our young people's lives as they pass from unborn babies through early childhood, into adolescence, and then into adulthood, helping us understand the factors that influence their lives and learn how society can apply the findings from Growing Up in New Zealand to improve lives. I have wondered over the last couple of days how an intensively studied 16 to 17-year-old might feel. And to be honest, I've no idea, but maybe some of you will share your feelings with us this evening. So I do hope for all of you involved in Growing Up in New Zealand that you walk with a strong sense of pride in your contribution, not only to the study, but also to our country. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.